Dear brothers and sisters, as we look at our lives, we all want lives that are happy, lives that are peaceful. And as we try to look at where do we find peace and what are the things that would give us happiness, we find that it's in our day-to-day interactions that we either get to be happy or get annoyed and are out of peace. Our interactions in our families, our interactions in our neighborhood, our interactions with people at work, and in these days, our interactions with others through the media are such that those interactions either can bring joy to us or they could be very, very difficult to deal with. And so for us to be happy, for us to be peaceful, we need for these interactions to be calm and collected and be interactions which are loving. For two people who are interacting, for their interaction to be calm and peaceful, it is very important that they cooperate, that their goals are the same, that they are not looking at that interaction from a selfish point of view, but they are looking at the interaction from a selfless point of view. If we want to take from the interaction, if we want to be selfish, we want only our way to happen, then those interactions are never going to be peaceful. But if we are giving and we make sure that the interaction is such in which there is cooperation between everyone who's interacting, then we will find that things for us would be peaceful, happy, and joyous. So how do we get to cooperate? Is there an art of cooperation that we can learn? And how does one get to a state where one recognizes the benefits of being able to cooperate with others? As we look at our lives, we find we interact with many, many people, and as we interact with them, many, many activities happen. Let's say you're a member of a family and you're living in the house together with other members. And so many activities happen in the house. Food needs to be cooked, groceries need to be bought. If you own a home, grass needs to be cut. If you are having guests come to your house, then you have to make sure that everything is cleaned up and fit and fine. Even otherwise, the house needs to be cleaned. And so there are many, many activities that happen in the house. Now, if you leave the work in the house to just one person, then you're overburdening them. But if everyone in the family cooperates, then things will go much more smoothly for everyone, and there would be happiness and joy. When we share the load of a burden, then things are harmonious. I'd like to talk about an interesting anecdote. This is about a guitarist. He was one who would play the guitar and played very, very well. And so he would have concerts. And when we would go to the concert and he would play his guitar there, people would really enjoy the music that he brought forth. And so he would give concerts in one place and concerts in another place. He would take care of the guitar very, very well. He would clean the strings well. He would keep the guitar fit and fine, keep them tightened to the right levels. And then, as he would give the concert, at the end of it, he would put the guitar in one corner. He would go and change and then come back and put the guitar in the box and would take it home. So one evening, as he's finished with the concert, and as he's going to change his clothes, he realized some sounds coming from the guitar. He started to wonder. He said, I'm not playing the guitar. Why are sounds coming from this guitar? He went towards the guitar and he started to hear some mumbling coming out of the guitar. He got closer and closer so that he could hear more clearly as to what was coming out of the guitar. As he got closer to the guitar, he could hear clearly the first string. The first string was telling everyone else, I am the sharpest of all the strings. I have the highest note. People come to hear me. I am better than all of you. I'm the best out of all the strings. And then the second string said, no. If I was not giving you some help, you're full of shrills there, and no one would want to listen to you. It's I who make you better sounding so that people can enjoy you. And the third string came in, started saying, what are you guys talking about? I'm the one who makes all the tunes. I'm right in the middle. If I were not here, no tunes would come out. No one would listen to anything that you both put together. So I'm the best. And then the fourth string says, which is the one which gives it a more deeper sound, said, you guys really don't understand what music is all about. It's not the high notes, it's the deepness of the note that people really enjoy. Don't you see people singing and shaking their heads when I come into play? So I'm the best. And the fifth string comes in and says, oh, you're not deep enough. People really like things coming from the soul. I'm the soul of this whole guitar, and I'm the one who gives it depth so that everyone who's come to listen to the concert is really enjoying themselves. And then the sixth string comes in, which is the deepest of them all. He says, what are you guys talking about? Don't you see people only dancing when I come into play? That's what they really like. And people come here and they want to dance. They just don't want to only listen. They also want to dance. And if I was not with you guys, no one would be dancing to your tunes. And so they're fighting back and forth and arguing back and forth, and their voices are getting angrier and angrier and angrier. So the guitarist who's listening to all of them all of a sudden realizes what is going on and starts to think, how can I bring some harmony in all of the strings? He thinks for a couple of moments and then he speaks out loudly. He says, just stop arguing with each other. And he tells the strings that if you were not all playing together, no one would be listening to you. He said, the way you're talking now, if each one of you is just playing by yourself, you would bring pain to someone who's listening. He said, I'm standing here listening to you and I'm in pain. It's only when you all are working together that there is joy. It's only when there's harmony within all of you. All of you need the support of each other to produce something that is valuable, to produce something that people enjoy, to produce something that gives them happiness and joy, so they listen to the music and they dance to it. And this is what happens with each and every one of us also. Whether we are a part of a family, whether we are a member of a neighborhood, whether we are a person at work, we all are involved in various activities with a number of different people. We need to understand that we need to work in harmony. We need to understand that if we are selfish only to gain from our interactions, no one will gain. There'll be chaos. We need to understand that whatever needs to be done, everyone needs to pitch in. How many times have there been opportunities for us to do some work in a group and we say, this is too menial for me? But when we look at life, there are jobs to be done which seem to be very clean, and there are other jobs to be done where we need to clean up after someone has done some work. Rather than always trying to do what we think we like, it is to our benefit to do something to relieve the burden of someone else. If we leave the job to only one person, chances are with time they'll either burn out, and when they burn out, then all the burden falls on our shoulders. So it's much better to cooperate. And for us to be cooperating with others, one of the first things that we need to do is to be able to open our hearts up. We need to take all prejudice out of our hearts for anyone who's different than us. We need to be loving and caring towards each and everyone that we meet. If we feel they're different from us because the color of their skin is different, or they speak a different language, or they wear different kind of clothes, or the cultures from where they came are different, then we will never be able to live in harmony. We need to go beyond that. We also need to have unity in our own being. Everything that happens to us happens first because of how we understand the situation to be. So the first thing that needs to be corrected is our understanding. If we correct our understanding, if we realize that we are all one and the same, then that understanding will put the right kind of thoughts into our being. Because all thoughts that we get are based on our understanding. Let's say you can meet someone, you have a conversation with them, you meet them for 10 minutes or 20 minutes or half an hour. Based on the conversation, you have an understanding of what the person is like. You might like the person, so your thoughts about that person would be good, would be loving, would be caring. You might think that the person was very arrogant, and then your thoughts are not going to be loving. You have different kind of thoughts. So based on your understanding of the situation is what kind of thoughts you get. And based on the thoughts you get are the kind of words that come out of you. So if we want loving words to come out of us so that they put a balm on the pain of someone else, then our thoughts need to be good. If our thoughts are good about someone, then we'll have appreciation of them. We'll say good things about them. But if our thoughts are not good about someone else, then as we talk to them, anger will come out. And based on our words is the actions that we have. Loving thoughts bring loving words bring loving interactions or actions. And this is why the understanding needs to be correct. Now, how do we correct our understanding? If we only look at the mirror at ourselves and look at the beautiful face that we see in front of us and think that's the most beautiful face in the world, then we are giving food to our ego. Our ego is getting more bloated up. We think of ourselves as an individual different than everyone else. We then are understanding that there is duality. It's we and someone else. If you have that kind of an understanding, then you would always want to do things which you think are good for you, irrespective of how you treat others. So that understanding needs to change. We need to get to a state where we understand that we as individuals are all connected, that we're all one and the same. All of our faiths are telling us that all of us are one and the same, that we are members of this great family of God. We hear it from when we were children, but it doesn't sink in. We go to a place of worship, we hear that, we say, oh, that sounds very good. We come out of a place of worship and then we're back to us thinking that we are different than everyone else. So how does one understand that we are all connected? How does one understand that we are all one and the same? How does one understand that we are all members of the great family of God? That is where meditation comes into play. If we only think of ourselves as a human body, if we only live at the level of our physical senses, then everything that we do interacts with the world outside. Our senses of sight, hearing, smell, taste, and touch take our attention, which is the outer expression of our soul, and puts that out into the world outside. And whatever impressions we get with our interactions with others in this world, that's what our understanding becomes. This person is good, this person is not that good. This person is okay. We may want to be close to this person, be really away from this person we can meet once in a while. So understanding all happens because of interactions and what impressions we have made through those interactions. All the saints and mystics who come into this world have been talking about the true realities of our existence not being in the world outside, but being within each and every one of us. But how do we get there? So meditation is a means by which we take our attention away from the world outside and focus it within ourselves. And what is it that we find within ourselves? In the outside, we find this world with its attraction, with its glitter, and we get attracted to it. What is there inside? As we close our eyes, as we still the body, as we still the mind, we travel to a region of love and a region of light, in a region which is calm and peaceful. As our soul, which is the real self, our soul which gives life to the body, our soul which is a part of God, we start to experience ourselves at that level. Right now, when we live at the level of a physical senses, we are only experiencing the physical body. But as we rise above physical body consciousness, as we take our attention within, then we start to experience ourselves as soul, as being a conscious entity, as being full of the love and light of God. Because our journey within is a journey of love, it's a journey of light. Sant Rajinder Singh Ji Maharaj, through one of his verses, which translated in English would be as follows. He said, "When I travelled from the earth earthy to the heavenlies, I found love at every step and beauty in every glance." So the journey within is a journey of love, it's a journey of light, it's a journey of beauty. Within us is God, the Creator, and we experience God through the two primal manifestations of God, that being the divine light and the divine sound of God. So as we go within, we start to experience the divine light. And as we experience the divine light within, the realization sets in and the understanding becomes clear that there is something beyond what we experience through our outer senses, which is within ourselves. And the more light we experience on the inside, the more our understandings get to be clearer and clearer of who we are. And as we connect with this divine light and sound of God within ourselves, the realization that we are a part of the Creator sets in. And when we really experience the light more and more, that realization also sets in that if we can experience the divine light of God, the primary manifestation of God, then everyone else can do the same too. That they're not different from us. Because what we experience within ourselves is the light of the Creator. And so that light of the Creator which is within ourselves is also within everyone else. And then our understanding gets to be clearer that we're all one and the same. And when we have that understanding that we're all one and the same, then our thoughts are correct, our words are correct, and our actions are correct. And it is then that we live a life which is peaceful. It is then that we live a life in which we are happy. It is then we live a life in which we are joyous. So we all can experience lives and lead lives which give us perpetual happiness and joy. Not happiness and joy just for a moment here or there, but perpetual, for all times to come. That happens when we connect with the source of all peace, all joy, all happiness, which is within ourselves, which is God the Creator. So let us meditate for a few minutes. Please sit as comfortably as you can. Please close your eyes very gently, just like you close them when you go to sleep. Your eyeballs should be straight, focus 8 or 10 inches in front of you. And as you close your eyes, those of you who have been initiated in the mysteries of the beyond, please do your Simran. Those of you who are new here, please repeat any name of God that you feel comfortable with. The repetition of God's name should be done mentally and not out loud. Right in front of you, light will spout forth. So keep your attention on the light, and many, many other vistas will open up for you. I pray to God Almighty and to the three great spiritual masters of the past century, Hazur Baba Sawan Singh Ji Maharaj, Param Sant Kripal Singh Ji Maharaj and Dayal Purush Sant Darshan Singh Ji Maharaj to help each and every one of us connect with the divine power within and to experience the divine light of God within ourselves. We'll be sitting for a few minutes. I'll be getting you out of this meditative state, and my best wishes are with each and every one of you. प्लीज लीव ऑफ, छोड़ दीजिए जी।